two students can have the same maths ability, but one can get an 8 and one can get a 5. Why does this happen? Well, the difference is often exam technique. My name is Bradley and I'm an experienced GCSE maths tutor, and today I'm going to be talking about the strategies and the techniques you should use to get more marks in the GCSE exams. Now, first area that you want to think about when you're trying to get marks in the exams is method marks. Now, in maths, it's a beautiful thing actually. You don't have to get the question exactly right to get a good amount of marks. There are some questions that are 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, and those questions often they have what are called method marks, which means you get marks simply for doing the method of the question. For example, let's say you have a question that is asking you to add 2 fractions that have different denominators. So like it's asking you to add 1/10 and 5/20, right? So once you say, okay, I know to add these, I need to put these in the same denominator. So you do that on the paper, you put them in the same denominator, you do the times and everything. Once you've shown that, then that can lead you to getting more marks than you would if you had just written the answer. In the maths papers, they very, very much value you showing the method you've used to get the answer, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking that you understand the question and you understand the math rather than that you get the perfect answer every time. And so showing the method very, very much helps with your marks, and sometimes you can lose marks if you don't put any method whatsoever. And so it's so important that you show every step of the way in your working so that you do get the maximum marks that you can. Because even if you get the final answer wrong, you can still get 2 out of 3 marks, 3 out of 4 marks just from the method alone. So the next area you want to look at is showing your working. So when I say working, I'm talking about the arithmetic side of things. So when you're doing a calculation that you may find simple in your head, like 6 times 3, writing that down 6 times 3 equals whatever, that would be a really, really good thing to do, because doing the working on the paper shows them, okay, he knows what he's doing or she knows what she's doing. They're going through the process in their head, and they can see, okay, he or she got it right up to this point, and then they went downhill. So okay, we can give them this amount of marks, and that it doesn't matter too much. Showing your working gets you a lot of marks, similar to the method marks. If you miss out your working, they don't know that you understand the question, and it can lose you marks that you could have got otherwise. Those are 2 things that students miss out on when they're doing their GCSE exams. A third thing that makes students lose out on marks is not reading the question properly. Now, when you have a question on a GCSE paper, and especially when it's a little bit wordy, you have to look at it carefully. I tell my students to highlight and underline words that they feel like are important, and numbers that they feel like are important. Why is it important to read the question properly? Well, it's essential that you know what the question is looking for and what you know already, because those 2 things very, very much determine your method and the answer that you get at the end. So it's so important that you read the question properly, you know what it's asking for, so that you get the maximum marks and that you actually put the answer that it wants you to get. Sometimes you may, if you don't read the question properly, and I've seen this happen before, you put a premature answer, but then you needed to do a little bit more to get the right answer. For example, you might put an answer in kilometers, but actually the question specifically said write your answer in meters, so you had to convert it. But you didn't because you didn't read the question properly, you lose the marks. So make sure to read the question properly in your exams. The final, well, there are other things, but the final thing I'll talk about today that causes students to lose marks is avoidable mistakes. There are many common avoidable mistakes that students make in their exams, and it happens again and again and again. In my experience, there's been two main types of mistakes that students make in their GCSE exams that are easily avoidable. First of all, students sometimes put the wrong unit. Sometimes students will put meters instead of kilometers. Sometimes they won't convert a certain unit properly and they'll lose out on those marks. That's the main one of the main mistakes that students make. That's very avoidable. Another avoidable mistake that students make is forgetting the decimal places. Sometimes teachers in the classroom tell the students to just forget about the decimal points when they're writing their answer in general work. And while, this, depends on the teacher, fine. This isn't actually great for students who are working towards their GCSEs, because often GCSE questions will want the answer in 2 decimal places. Sometimes we'll ask for a different number, but usually it'll be 2 decimal places. And sometimes a student will just forget the decimal places and say, I didn't think I needed them. That shouldn't be the case. Remember the decimal places, because those could be essential for you getting full marks on the question. There are other very avoidable mistakes that maybe you've been making and that you've noticed, but make sure that you recognize the avoidable mistakes you're making and avoid them, because they're not gonna get fixed on their own, and you wanna not do them so that you can get the highest GCSE grade that you can. So that is how to get the maximum amount of marks you can when it comes to GCSE exam technique. Now, I have a lot of blogs on my website that talk about GCSE exam technique and talk further about how you can use the mark scheme to your advantage and how you can complete the questions in a way that gets you as many marks as you possibly can. So if you want to see those blogs, then there's a link in the description to my website where the blog is, and you'll be able to see some of those posts and browse for yourself. I hope you got value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.